Or you don't look sick. Everyone gets tired sometimes. Maybe if you just pushed yourself more, I think you're making it worse by focusing on it. Other people have it worse and they don't complain this much. These aren't coming from strangers. These aren't coming from dismissive doctors. These are coming from your spouse, your parents, your siblings, your children. The people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, the people who should believe you most, are the ones who doubt you most, and it's destroying families from the inside out. Today, we're talking about what no one wants to admit. Chronic pain doesn't just hurt you, it poisons your closest relationships. It turns love into resentment, support into doubt, family into strangers, and nobody warned you it would be this lonely. Welcome to Painfully Real. Today, we're going where families don't want us to go. We're exposing the brutal truth about how chronic pain destroys relationships with the people who should be your greatest support. This episode will make some people uncomfortable. Good. We need to talk about it. There's a special kind of pain that comes from hearing doubt from the person who shares your bed. In the beginning, your partner believes you. They're concerned, supportive, helpful. They go to doctor appointments, they adjust plans, they take on extra responsibilities. But as months turn into years, something shifts. The chronic nature of chronic pain starts to wear them down. They can't see your pain. The tests keep coming back normal or inconclusive. You look fine, you can do some things but not others, and slowly doubt creeps in. They don't say it at first, but you can feel it. The subtle eye rolls when you say you can't do something. The heavy sighs when you need to cancel plans. The way they stop asking how you're feeling because they're tired of the answer. And then one day they say it. Are you sure you can't do this? You seemed fine yesterday. That's when you realize your own partner doesn't fully believe you anymore. This phrase is devastating coming from anyone. From your spouse, it's soul crushing because your spouse sees you every day. They see you at your worst, in the morning when you can barely move, during flares when you're crying in pain, on the days when getting dressed takes an hour. And yet they still say, you don't look sick. What they mean is, your pain doesn't look like what I think pain should look like. You're not writhing in agony 24/7. You smile sometimes, you laugh, you have good hours or good days, you manage to do some things. So, in their mind, you can't be that sick, you must be exaggerating or choosing to focus on it or giving up too easily. They don't understand that functioning through pain is a skill you've developed. That masking is survival. That looking normal requires extraordinary effort. Your spouse starts comparing you to other people. My coworker has chronic pain and she still works full time. I saw someone on Facebook with your condition running a marathon. My friend's mom has fibromyalgia and she doesn't let it stop her. These comparisons are daggers because they imply if others can do it, you're just not trying hard enough. They don't understand that chronic pain isn't uniform. Severity varies, conditions vary, individual bodies vary, but they see these examples as proof that you could do more if you wanted to, that you're choosing limitation. Early on, your spouse accommodated your limitations without complaint. They took over household tasks. They handled social obligations. They adjusted vacation plans, but as time goes on, the accommodations feel like burdens to them, and they start pushing back. We haven't gone anywhere in months because of you. I'm exhausted from doing everything around here. Can't you just try to push through for once? The guilt this creates is crushing. You already feel like a burden. Now it's being confirmed by the person who promised to be there in sickness and health. Chronic pain destroys intimacy on multiple levels. Physical intimacy becomes difficult or impossible. Pain makes touch unbearable. Fatigue eliminates desire. Medications affect function. The body you're trapped in won't cooperate. Your spouse feels rejected. You feel guilty. Neither of you knows how to talk about it without hurt feelings. Emotional intimacy dies too. You're tired of complaining about pain. They're tired of hearing about it. So you stop sharing, you withdraw, you become roommates managing a household instead of partners sharing a life. The dynamic shifts from equal partnership to caregiver patient, and that shift is toxic. Your spouse has to help you with basic tasks sometimes, getting dressed, showering, cooking, cleaning. They stop seeing you as their partner and start seeing you as someone they have to take care of, someone dependent, someone who can't contribute equally, and you feel it. The shift from love to duty, from desire to obligation. The person you married sees you as a burden now, and you can't blame them because you feel like one too. Over time, resentment becomes the dominant emotion in your relationship. They resent doing more than their share, canceling plans constantly, having their life limited by your pain, losing the partner they married, feeling like they can't complain because you have it worse. You resent being doubted by the person who should believe you most, feeling guilty for being sick, having to justify your limitations constantly, being made to feel like a burden, losing yourself to become the sick one. The resentment on both sides poisons everything, every conversation, every decision, every interaction, and nobody knows how to fix it because neither person is the villain. The pain is, but the pain isn't a person you can fight, so you fight each other instead. The relationship with parents is complicated by decades of history, expectations, and the fundamental fact that they raised you to be strong, and now you seem weak to them. Many parents take chronic illness personally, as if your pain is a failure of their parenting. They raised you to be tough, to push through challenges, to not give up, and now you're giving up in their eyes. They don't say, "This isn't how we raised you" out loud, but you feel it in every interaction: the disappointment, the confusion, the unspoken question: what happened to the strong person we raised? What they don't understand is that surviving chronic pain requires more strength than anything they ever taught you. But they can't see that strength because it looks like limitation to them. Parents from certain generations were raised with a walk it off mentality about pain and illness. You don't complain, you don't make excuses, you push through. So when you can't push through, they see weakness, lack of mental toughness, giving into pain instead of overcoming it. They say things like, "Back in my day, we didn't have time to focus on every little ache and pain. You need to stop babying yourself. Mind over matter, you're making it worse by dwelling on it." These statements reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of chronic pain. It's not about willpower or toughness. It's about managing a medical condition that doesn't respond to determination alone. But try explaining that to a parent who believes pain is something you can simply decide to overcome. Parents read articles about your condition and suddenly think they know more than you do, or more than your doctors do. I read that if you just cut out gluten, there was a study showing the supplement cures it. Have you tried yoga? I saw it helps with that. Their intentions might be good. They're trying to help. But what it communicates is, "I don't think you've tried hard enough. If you'd just done this, you'd be better." It dismisses the years you've spent trying everything. It implies your continued suffering is your own fault for not finding the magic solution they discovered in 10 minutes of Googling. Parents had expectations for your life: career success, marriage, grandchildren, independence, achievement. Chronic pain often derails all of that. You can't work the way they envision. Your relationships suffer or end. Your life looks nothing like what they hoped for you. And even if they don't say it, you feel their disappointment, the unspoken grief for the life they wanted you to have. Some parents make it explicit. "When are you going to get a real job? You're wasting your potential. Your sister manages to work full-time with kids. Why can't you?" Each statement is a reminder that you've failed to live up to their expectations, that you're a disappointment. If you have siblings, you become the problem child in the family dynamic. You're the one who needs help, who can't make it to family events, who requires accommodations, who dominates conversations because your health crises are constant. Your siblings might resent the attention you get, even though it's not the kind of attention anyone wants. Your parents might be exhausted from worrying about you while your siblings seem fine. Family gatherings become uncomfortable because you're the obvious problem that nobody knows how to discuss or fix. In the beginning, parents offer help: money, housing, assistance with tasks, support at doctor appointments. But if your condition doesn't improve, and chronic conditions by definition don't, they get help fatigue. They stop offering, or they offer with resentment, or they make comments about how much they've already done. We can't keep supporting you forever. At some point, you need to figure this out yourself. We've done everything we can. It's up to you now. The message is clear. Your need for help has exceeded their willingness to provide it. You've worn out your welcome even with your own parents. Parents get older, they develop their own health problems, and suddenly there's a competition for who has it worse. I have arthritis and I still work. My back hurts every day, but you don't hear me complaining. Everyone has pain as they get older, you just deal with it. They use their own pain as proof that yours isn't special, isn't worthy of accommodation, isn't an excuse. They don't understand that their age related aches are different from debilitating chronic conditions, that comparing them is pointless. But in their mind, they're tougher than you because they don't let it stop them. This is the most painful dynamic, when parents start to believe you're manipulating them with your illness, that you're exaggerating for attention, sympathy, money, or to avoid responsibilities. They might not say it directly, but you hear it in, "It's convenient that you're always sick when there's something you don't want to do. You seem fine when you want to do something you enjoy. I think you use your condition as an excuse." Being accused of faking or manipulating by your own parents is devastating, because if your parents don't believe you, who will? Being a parent with chronic pain is heartbreaking in unique ways. Young children don't understand chronic pain. They just know that you can't do what other parents do. You can't play at the park, can't coach their team, can't attend every school event, can't keep up at amusement parks, and at some point they start comparing you to other parents and finding you lacking. Why can't you play with me like Jamie's mom does? Everyone else's parents came to the field trip. You never do anything fun with us. Each statement is a knife to the heart because you want to be that parent. You'd give anything to be able to do those things, but your body won't let you, and your children are too young to understand that distinction. You watch your children's childhoods from the sidelines. Your partner or other family members do the activities you wish you could do. Your children's memories will be filled with someone else playing with them, taking them places, being the fun parent. You're the parent who's always tired, always in pain, always saying, "I can't." The guilt is crushing. You feel like you're failing them every day. As children become teenagers, compassion often turns to resentment. They're old enough to understand you're sick, but young enough to be self-centered, and your limitations inconvenience them. They resent having to do extra chores because you can't. Not being able to have friends over when you're having a bad day, having a parent who's embarrassing because you're different, being asked to accommodate your needs. Teenagers are in the developmental stage of individuating from parents. Having a parent who needs help or accommodation feels like a burden they didn't ask for. They might say cruel things. "I wish I had a normal mom, dad. This is so annoying. Why can't you just be like everyone else?" Developmentally, this is somewhat normal teenager behavior. But when it's directed at something you can't control, it's devastating. Sometimes children become caregivers for their chronically ill parents. This role reversal robs them of their childhood. They take on household responsibilities beyond their years. They worry about you in ways children shouldn't have to worry. They learn to read your pain levels and adjust their behavior accordingly. They grow up too fast, and they might resent you for it later, even if they don't realize they do. Adult children with chronically ill parents sometimes pull away emotionally and physically. They're tired of the illness dominating every conversation, tired of worrying, tired of the needs and limitations. They call less, visit less, include you less in their lives, not because they don't love you, but because your illness is exhausting for them, and they need space from it to live their own lives. You understand rationally, but emotionally it feels like abandonment. Siblings respond to your chronic illness in wildly different ways, and it often damages those relationships permanently. Often, siblings divide into two camps: those who believe your pain is real, and those who think you're exaggerating or using it as an excuse. The skeptical sibling mirrors the worst of what parents say. They compare you to others, suggest you're not trying hard enough, maybe even accuse you of manipulating the family for attention or resources. You always seem to have a flair when there's work to be done. Some people have real problems. You just want everyone to feel sorry for you. Having a sibling who doesn't believe you is lonely, because siblings are supposed to be allies, the people who understand the family dynamics and have your back. When they don't, you're truly alone. Sometimes one sibling ends up doing most of the care or support. They step up when parents can't or won't. They help with bills, rides to appointments, childcare. and they resent it. They resent that you need help. They resent that other siblings don't help as much. They resent that their life is impacted by your illness. They might not say it, but you feel it. The martyr energy, the sighs, the comments about how much they sacrifice. Some siblings just disappear. They don't help, but they also don't criticize. They just opt out entirely. They don't call, don't visit, don't engage with your illness at all. It's a passive form of abandonment. They've decided your illness is too much for them, so they've withdrawn. If your illness requires financial support from parents, it can create sibling resentment. Siblings see parents helping you with bills, housing, medical expenses, and they feel like it's unfair, even if they don't need help themselves. Or worse, they do need help but don't get it because the parent's resources are exhausted from helping you. Suddenly, you're not just the sick sibling. You're the sibling who's taking resources that others could use. Family gatherings become tense with these unspoken resentments. Friends are supposed to be the family you choose. But chronic pain shows you that friendship often has limits. Friends don't usually abandon you suddenly. It's gradual. At first, they're understanding. When you cancel plans, they offer support, they check in. But as you continue to cancel because chronic pain means unpredictable flares, they stop inviting you. We figured you wouldn't be able to make it anyway. The invitations stop. The texts slow down. The friendship dies quietly from lack of participation. And you understand, you're not fun anymore. You can't keep up. You're a downer. But understanding doesn't make it hurt less. People say, let me know if you need anything, but don't actually mean it. When you do reach out for help, suddenly they're busy, or they offer help that's not actually helpful, or they ghost entirely. You learn that "let me know if you need anything" is something people say to feel good about themselves, not an actual offer of support. Some friends stay in your life but become insufferable with their advice. Every conversation includes, "Have you tried thing you've obviously tried? My cousin's friend had that, and cure that doesn't work for you. I really think if you just oversimplified solution." They mean well, but what you hear is, "I think you're not doing enough to fix this." Eventually, you stop sharing anything about your health because you're tired of defending why you're still sick. Some friends turn your illness into their drama. They complain about how hard it is to watch you suffer, how worried they are, how much it affects them. Suddenly, you're comforting them about your illness. Or they share your health information without permission, turning your private struggles into their story to tell. You realize these friendships were never about you. You were the supporting character in their lives, and now that you need support, they can't or won't provide it. Understanding why families stop believing doesn't make it hurt less, but it provides context. Humans are visual creatures. We believe what we can see. Chronic pain is invisible. Your family can't see it, can't measure it, can't understand it. When something doesn't make visual sense, doubt creeps in. Not because they want to doubt you, but because their brains struggle to reconcile looks fine with is suffering. People can handle acute crisis. They can rally for short-term emergencies. But chronic, ongoing, forever, that's psychologically exhausting. Your family gets compassion fatigue. Their capacity for accommodation runs out. They need your illness to have an end date, and when it doesn't, they don't know how to cope. Your family is grieving the loss of who you were, the life they thought you'd have, the role you played in the family system. But grief is uncomfortable, so it often manifests as anger, doubt, or resentment instead. They're not mad at you. They're mad at the situation, but you're the physical representation of the situation, so you become the target. When doctors dismiss you, struggle to diagnose you, or can't fix you, it validates your family's doubts. If the doctors can't find anything wrong, maybe nothing is wrong. The medical gaslighting you face externally gives your family permission to doubt you internally. Watching someone you love suffer without being able to fix it is torturous. Some people respond to that helplessness with doubt, because if you're not really that sick, then they don't have to feel helpless. They don't have to sit with the discomfort of witnessing suffering they can't solve. Doubting you is easier than accepting that someone they love is in pain and they can't help. If your family has stopped believing your pain, if you're drowning in doubt and resentment from the people who should support you most, I need you to hear this. You're not crazy. You're not exaggerating. You're not manipulating anyone. You're living with a chronic condition that's destroying not just your body, but your relationships. And that's not your fault. The people who doubt you aren't necessarily villains. They're struggling with their own limitations in understanding capacity and coping. But their struggle doesn't make your pain less real. Their doubt doesn't mean you're wrong about your own experience. You may need to grieve the support you deserved but didn't get. You may need to set boundaries with family members who can't or won't believe you. You may need to build chosen family to replace biological family that failed you. That's okay. You're allowed to protect yourself, even from people you love. Your pain is real, whether anyone believes it or not. Thank you for listening to Painfully Real. If this episode made you feel seen, share it. Tag someone who needs to hear it. And if you're feeling alone in your family right now, you're not alone in the chronic pain community. We believe you. I'll see you next time.